Coming to Iceland requires kind of special people to move to Iceland. Many people end up here that have some interesting stories or background. And we started in Barcelona. We put all our things in the car.
We knew we were not taking like the easy route, you know, leaving everything, our connections, our family and resources in Spain and going somewhere else and see what happens.
It was so difficult to start in Iceland.
That's Julia's solution to any problem. We should just get a cat.
Ahmed.
Julia 是一名动物爱好者，对于小动物的热爱常常让他们措手不及。他在游戏公司工作，但他是一个不太典型的程序员。今年是他和男朋友 Rafa 来到冰岛的第10年，也是租房整整10年以后终于买房的第1年。哦，对了，他们还是我在现实生活里的朋友。这一期的纪录片除了全程跟拍了他们在1月冰岛搬家全过程，同时在 BlankMe 的支持下回顾了这些年他们的经历，从巴塞罗那一路开车到冰岛，从此住下，一定能听到很多精彩的故事。
1 year before we were finishing the degree, we took a map and then we started thinking where we want to live. We had nothing, you know, you could just carve your own life and decide what. There was this moment when we thought, and Iceland? Why not Iceland? We always wanted to go, and if we move there, it's only one trip. And then we can spend all the time we want.
Once we decided we wanted to go to Iceland, we had a plan and we started saving all the money we could, and we took every job we could get.
The first apartment that we're gonna be in just 1 year. We can choose where to put things and they will be just there, you know, for a long time. That should be really nice. I'm super excited. We were watching all these pictures of Iceland and trying to think what it's like, and then all of them were sunny and with waterfalls, so we thought, you know, sandals.
It's all a big lie.
We started in Barcelona. We put all the trash bags with clothes.
Basically t-shirts and shorts and
the sandals.
I think it's still in bags. And we kept driving to Denmark, and then we put the cat on a ferry that takes 3 days, and it gets you to the east of Iceland. Not what we expected. Like, we had everything planned and we had a map and lots of red dots in the map, and every red dot was we thought a town, but it was actually a gas station.
Yeah, like one farm.
And you arrive and everything was much smaller than we thought, and also more rural. Like, the road was not paved in all the areas, and even though it was July, it was snow in the parts of the road as well.
There was snow, a lot of snow.
We were so happy to finally be in Iceland, and we had no idea what we were doing. We probably spent an hour on the waterfall.
100 meters more, there was another waterfall, it was bigger.
We stopped again and we took very similar pictures, and we realized, you know, there were actually waterfalls everywhere. At some point we just didn't stop anymore. We just continued driving, and
yeah, we had to get to Reykjavik at some point. I'm super excited. I don't care about being tired. I just want to move. I don't think I believe it, that, you know, we're gonna live in our own apartment in Iceland also, and move in January. It's crazy. It was so complicated to, you know, from the beginning to find the place and to, you know, get the financing and do all the things.
Only one of the beds?
only one, yeah.
And there's a little step.
Yeah.
After seeing so many small towns, Reykjavik looks super big.
Yeah, it felt like a big city, and we got to the Reykjavik campsite and we put up the tent, and
that was our home.
So when you apply for your documents here in Iceland, we put the camping's address on. And it was so hot during the day because it was bright orange. Basically made it just like a small oven. You felt like a pizza. And then at night it was the opposite. It was super, super cold.
Yeah, there was this moment at like 11 o'clock, I think, when the sun went down, that suddenly it got super freezing. So you could never really be okay inside. It was either like super hot or super cold. We didn't want to spend all our little savings that we had in a hotel because those were very expensive. So we wanted to just find a long-term rental. It was really, really hard. There were so few for rent in Iceland, and then when we found one, it didn't have furniture.
And everything took a long, long time.
You ordered the bed in IKEA. They had to ship it from, I don't know where, from Sweden, I guess. After a month in the campsite, we had a house, but then it was empty. And we had to wait 1 month for the bed.
So even though it was not a tent anymore, we were still in the sleeping bags. And
yeah, on the floor.
Yeah.
And it was less cozy, you know, because the grass was actually nice, but then, you know, the campsite, but then the floor was so hard. So I just wanted to go back to the campsite. Welcome home. We worked really hard. It was so difficult to start in Iceland. I went to the interviews, but it looked like they didn't think that I was going to stay in Iceland. But they thought that it was just some fun. They were more curious about me and about why I was coming to Iceland than trying to figure out if I was going to be good at, you know, for that job. So I never managed to get any job, like anything that I liked. So we were doing a little bit of, you know, working in something that it was fun, but it was not what we were looking for. I was working in a hotel at the time, in like breakfast.
I worked at the restaurant for 1 year, and then I was basically at the university during the day, and then at 5 I started my shift.
He would come at 12 at night, then he would go and take a shower, and then he started writing his projects. And then he would, no, I drive you.
But yeah, that year life was perfect.
We were really happy that we were in Iceland and that we could do something. I met someone, they were just starting a project. They needed someone to help with coding the website. I wasn't like getting paid or a real employee or anything. I just wanted to do something a bit creative.
A year after being in Iceland, Julia had worked for free enough hours to find like a good job. And then when I graduated here, then it was much easier to find a job within my field.
I'm thinking we're gonna start bringing things here from downstairs. I'm excited to have books again. We were always afraid of buying books. You know, that's the worst thing to carry in suitcases and stuff. So now we can buy books again. Here's my exercise.
Just Hamlet.
Only Hamlet, so we can forget about her.
We'll probably, come for her later.
Maybe. When we miss her. There was a moment when we had almost been a month in the campsite and I just didn't see us being in an apartment close. I thought that was not gonna happen. So I thought, what are we gonna do? We've been 1 month here and we're not gonna make it. We're gonna have to just go back, and I didn't want to go back to Spain at all.
We knew we were not taking like the easy route, leaving everything, our connections, our family and resources in Spain and going somewhere else and see what happens. I think for me it was not about finding an apartment, but it was when I had been working in a restaurant for 6 months or 7 months. I was like, I really enjoy this, but I don't want to do this forever. Julia's solution to any problem, we should just get a cat. If Julia feels a bit sad, Rafa, we should get a cat. That will make me feel much better. So when we got an apartment, we went to get a cat, and it became one more problem.
Of course, when we were students in Spain, with all our plans to move, that was never on the table. But then when we came to Iceland here, and it looked like we were working and, we were staying.
She's seen our best and our worst in that sense. She's been good company to have, and you know, you can have a terrible day at work, but then the cat is there at home to remind you she had an even worse day than you, and you better feed her some snacks and play with her. And
no, she's really nice. And the first night, our plan was to not let her in the bedroom. As soon as we closed the door and we went to bed, she started just meowing and crying.
yeah. Julia's heart was breaking inside the room, and the cat was crying.
Oh, it was you. You just went and saved her.
It was one of us, and we opened the door and we let the cat in.
Super quickly, she was just in the middle of the bed, and we were one on each side, just in a little space.
Yeah, till today.
Yes. I hope. Not the other door. Oh, there's a floor.
I think we're almost there.
Even days that it wasn't windy at all, there it was crazy windy. Un besito. Os quiero mucho. El suelo bien, todo bien. Os quiero. Merci. Hasta luego. My father was telling me, why not Toulouse in France? It was closer.
But Julia was so sad when we left, though, for the first.
It was difficult. They see us well. I think they're really happy. And they've also been here in Iceland and they like Iceland a lot now. It's very different from Iceland.
A bad winter is like 10 degrees.
Yeah, and they complain a lot, oh, it was so cold, 10 degrees. Every time that we went for a walk, they had to put on so many clothes, like the scarf and the hat and the gloves and all the different layers of jackets.
And they're not used to it. Like, for all we know, it's the first time they've seen a glove, and they're like...
And maybe when we were students, we didn't have so much time for anything. So we would see them a lot, but we didn't have quality time with them so much.
Now we have like twice a week, we have 1 or 2 hours that we spend talking to them.
So it's quality time because we're just not doing anything else, we're talking. We have the apartment with 2 proper bedrooms. Finally, I think they can maybe come a bit and...
Oh! Hello!
Are you angry? Are you okay? Do you want to go home? You know that this is not home anymore. You want to go where all your toys are, huh? Ameta. Hamlet, come on, it's for the best. Bye!
Bye,
Bye! But she's always so curious, even if she's angry, she wants to know what's going on. Welcome, Hamlet! Are you okay? Yes, I am. Oh, you like the new apartment? Yes, I love it. It does feel different when cleaning your own thing, your house. For the first time, I'm cleaning this window, and it's my window. After long thinking, good job.
Exactly. We did great in 2 weeks.
I like the views and the light. There's a lot of light and I didn't expect that. It has nice views to the ocean. Every day is different. Like, anytime I just pass there, I watch the views and the sky and the ocean, they look very different.
The floor.
The floor. I remember just moving wood from one side to the other. Everything was just, this is a disaster. You cannot live in this building. The floors are just a mess. They're mountains and there's no floor that you can put here. And then the other company called, now we can come. And they actually came and he was, yeah, well, we know, yeah, we've been doing this for 3 apartments already, so it's difficult, but it can be solved. Sure, it's not getting in here.
No.
It was like... And everything was so complicated and we had a lot of time before we had to move. They just started basically a week before we had to move.
So we gave them the keys so that they could come in and work, and they lost it on the first week, and everything was a bit like that. And yeah, I think we are 2 years or 3 from looking like a proper apartment.
It's for 2 people, and then there are 2 benches here together. Table or something here?
Bookshelf on this side.
Yes.
We feel we spent like hundreds of hours thinking of the perfect sofa. So we want to have just a sofa that is perfect for this apartment, and it was long nights for Julia and sometimes for Rafa as well. But in the end we got a sofa. We're just so tired, I don't want to think about sofas or chairs for a long while.
It's kind of difficult to imagine things also because in Iceland you buy the sofa but you have never seen the sofa.
We don't even know if it's comfortable or not.
Yeah, we don't know if the backrest will work.
Yeah.
Like that crazy
like
idea.
For all we know, it could be a potato. It's just like...
But there's no way to try it, and we cannot, either you buy the one that they have in the store, which is like very little selection, or, if you want something a bit specific, like we want it for the 2 sides, the conversation area and the other one, then we have to, just buy it online and hope it works, and wait for months until you get it.
I feel like there is only one boat going from Iceland to the world, and that boat is always full, and you gotta wait for a space on the boat.
It's this hall here, so you can... You hear? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. We sometimes thought about going somewhere warmer.
Every winter we think of that. Come January we're like, yeah, we should move.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. It's just constantly like -3 or -5 and always, like kind of clouds and everything icy or wet, and it's just never enjoyable to be outside.
他们说刚到冰岛的那一年，去超市连护发素都买不到，蔬菜水果都是这些年随着冰岛旅游变火才渐渐多了选择。